get on with the program, I want to introduce David Ortiz. He's with UTRGV, and he's in charge of TMAC, Texas Manufacturing Assistance Center. I'm with UTRGV too, so we have a UTRGV people here. So we're going to talk to you a little bit about innovation, how to do things, small business startup, etc. And TMAC is a great program. They partner with the Valley Partnership and also the Council of Governments in various economic activities. So you ready?
Yes,
Okay,
we can start. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Darling, thank you. And thank you so much for the invite to the chamber, for the invitation today. My name is David Ortiz, or David, if that's easier for you all. So I work for UTRGV, and I'm the regional director of the Texas Manufacturing Assistance Center. So we provide, our main mission is to make business competitive, especially small and medium-sized manufacturing companies. But we've been expanding our services to different areas. We've been taking projects on nonprofits as well. We did the strategic plan for the city of FAR, their 2022-2027 plan as well. And we're working on the strategic planning for the FAR International Bridge as well, looking into the different list of services that they have, and we're helping with the strategic plan in terms of what else they can do, what other services they can provide as well. We have worked with construction companies as well. So we did a nonprofit in Bronzeville called Mi Casita. I don't know if you have heard about that one there. So we helped that organization go from traditional manufacturing, which, as you know, construction happens, you have one site, which is a fixed position layout. Everybody comes to that, build a house, right? So we help them build a modular manufacturing layout, in which in this case you have modules, you have different squares that at the end you do a final assembly. You have a final assembly schedule, and then you finish the house. So they were able to improve their productivity and of course reduce the production cost on that particular project. So we work with very small companies. Actually, I wanted to make sure that you had a visual there in front of you. So there's a handout that I gave you with different services specifically for small businesses. For the most part, we have worked with different maquiladoras in Mexico. So we go there, we train them, we do operational excellence type of service. What does that mean? We implement everything that, from the Toyota production system, lean manufacturing, Six Sigma, and we help and we train their people to be part of those initiatives. So we go there, we make layout designs, layout changes as well, everything that has to do with the operation and production. Now, on the other side, also, and we're able to do this. I'm very fortunate to say that we have an amazing team. We have a team of 7 people. 3 of them are engineers from industry. One of them worked for Caterpillar for over 25 years. He was a plant manager in Mexico, and he ran a family-owned business as well. And the other engineer worked for oil and gas in the Houston area, and then he went into aerospace, GE Aviation, as a mechanical engineer. So we have another industry engineer from Monterey Tech. She's worked with small businesses on the marketing side as well. So it's kind of a good mix of people that we have in the team. So we work, how do we work? We go into a business and we do an initial assessment, right? And that assessment has different elements, right? In that case, we go into the demand, sales, and marketing. So in sales and marketing, and I hear that we have different people in that area here in the room. Of course, you have to understand your customer, but also you have to be able to manage the demand that you get, right? The number of customers, to manage your backlogs, manage the waiting times, and so on and so forth, and also manage forecasting too. So how much sales are you expecting in a particular season, at the beginning of the year, in the summer, in the winter, and so on and so forth. And based on that, you build attributes to your products, you make changes to your services, because there's a big difference between an operation that is already running, let's say a medium-sized manufacturing company, versus a small business and entrepreneurs. You're making changes every day, right? You're adapting to the environment, you're adapting to your clients, and based on that, you're kind of redesigning in some cases your products. And but you have to do that efficiently. You also it's also nice when you have a process for that. Now, if you see the presentation that I put in there, we're 1 out of 8 centers in Texas. We have our headquarters is in UT Arlington. That's where the main TMAC office is. We have another TMAC office at Texas Tech in the Lubbock area. University of Houston, Clear Lake in the Houston area, Texas A&M as well in the College Station and Houston area. UT El Paso, they specialize in 3D printing and manufacturing. We have 1 person in Austin, and of course we cover the South Texas region. I think I'm missing one. Yeah, Lamar University in the Beaumont area. So we cover the South Texas region all the way from Laredo, the MSA area, of course, McAllen, Edinburgh, Mission, then Bronzeville and Corpus Christi. So we try to be very involved in the community. Again, we serve from the side of small business and entrepreneurship. There's a point where the business is growing and you have to make a decision, right? Because business owners, for the most part, are really, really involved in the business. So in order to be able to step back and give people and empower people, you have to, and you need processes to do that, and to be able to train somebody else, you need to have standards, and that's where TMAC comes in, along with different incubation centers. The ECC that we have in Bronzeville, which is the UTRGV Entrepreneurship and Commercialization Center, the CIC in West Laco. Whenever the entrepreneur or the small business is ready to scale up the operation, or when a business, let me give you one example. We had one lady that was manufacturing a product at her house. Then HEB said, you need an actual facility now if you're gonna keep selling to us, and you need an SQF certification, and so on and so forth. So we helped her back in 2015 with the layout design, selecting the equipment, taking measurements, making sure that she was gonna have the right flow of the product, how much inventory she was gonna be able to have in that particular facility. So with that, it was a 3-month process with her. Of course, we're still helping her with production analysis, with costing, and so on and so forth. As you know, producing 10 parts per hour versus producing 100 parts per hour, the unit cost goes down. I mean, there's a lot of things to consider when you convert your operation, when you scale up your operation, and that's where we help. Now on that map in Texas, as you can see, we have the different regions, but we also an affiliate of the nationwide network called MEP, which is under the Department of Commerce and the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, and we're partially funded through them. What does that mean? Partially funded means that our services are not for free, but are competitive because the federal government funds half of it. So there's over 450 MEP centers across the nation, and we're one of those centers here in South Texas. Now, when we don't have the expertise here locally, we can tap into any of these centers. We have a network where we can make inquiries about very particular projects or very particular technologies as well. I don't know if you wanna, so I think that's TMAC in a nutshell.
TMAC, any other
Yes.
questions on TMAC? So you use them, you got the cards out there
Yes.
and all those kind of things.
It is.
Yes.
Go ahead.
How are you, is TMAC spread, this is not a trick question, it's
Sure.
just a came to my mind. Is TMAC spread thin? The only reason I ask is because I'm thinking of other organizations that we UTRGV work with that have like 1-person, 2-person teams. And I'm thinking of someone who could have used you 3 months ago, can use you today. But I don't want to hand over a bunch of chaos if you can't handle it.
No, we have worked with internal projects at UTRGV. Recently, we did the process mapping and process analysis for, so UTRGV works with different funded agencies, right? Including NASA, including the Department of Defense, Department of Energy, and so on and so forth. So we have researchers that apply for these grants. They get accepted. The grants go through UTRGV, through different departments, across the board, HR, facilities, Division of Research. So we help UTRGV and Division of Research team to map what we call the pre-award. When the researcher is sending all that information, they get it, so they can get all of that on time. And so we have worked with different teams internally. I guess that's the bottom line. But yeah, we'll be happy to meet some of those teams as well. And I talked to the marketing department head as well, like 3 weeks ago, about some
Peter?
projects.
Dr.
Yeah,
Matt?
with Peter.
Ah,
Yes.
okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, then we're gonna be great,
Yes,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So